hope you are with me this morning at 12:04, Monday, the 25th of August. And of course, as you know, tomorrow is a big day in our country. It is, of course, a celebration of my birthday. Just want to let you know, we are expecting President Trump to issue an executive order indicating all car lights to be on mandatorily after 9 p.m. That is, of course, what we need to do. My friends, where do I even begin to? Where do I even start? It's hard to begin. First, I want to welcome everyone. I want to say to you that you are asked to like this video, to subscribe. Very, very important that you subscribe to the video. I keep telling you, and I find this to be fascinating, but like there's 80-something% of the people who watch us don't subscribe. I don't know why. I don't know what to tell you about that. So I thank you for that. And I also ask you to like this, because liking, of course, and you always have to do this. It's really, everybody does it because it's true. You have to do this. I see Fred Haddad is there, Karen Peterson, Jimmy Floyd, DR's there, Shelley, Bradley Sanders, Greg Bello, Greg Below Zero, Johnny Jelaine watching from the sidelines, Janet Bonanno, 7712, actually writes, it's dark after 9 p.m. and car lights are on anyway, and they should be. Janet, you actually said that. One of the most obvious jokes, maybe in the history of humankind, for me to suggest that President Trump has issued an order that all car lights after 9 p.m., I said this, knowing of course that lights would be on, and therefore it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. Everybody in the world knows that's a joke. Everybody except Janet Bonanno. Bless your heart, Janet. I don't know what to tell you. Tell me you're actually joking that you did this knowing that it was a joke, and you're like giving me a double kind of a right back. Tell me you knew this. Tell me, Janet. Tell me you knew. Tell me this was the greatest double joke ever. Say, I know your joke, and I'm going to give it right back. I'm going to pretend that I didn't understand that was a joke. Tell me, Janet. Tell me someone does not honestly understand that this was obviously a joke. Tell me, Janet. Janet, tell me. Tell me you understood, hon. Please. I beg you. Please. Please. Thank you. Janet now trying to catch up. Said, I got to say something. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope your weekend was great and it was glorious and it was wonderful. I'm here in the WABC studios, and at 1 a.m., I am going to be talking, my friends, to you on the air, and I hope you join us at WABCradio.com or 77. Anyway, you can follow accordingly. My friends, so much to talk about. Let's talk about one of the stories which is the most interesting, and maybe you'll find it of interest. I don't know. But as you know, people love this Mamdani. And Mamdani is just one of the greatest examples of he's the gift that keeps on giving. And what he's doing is he's running, of course, for mayor of New York. But he and other people as well, You know, Gavin Newsom and all these other people. The mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Boston. I don't even know the names. The same. They're the same. And what is so important is that everybody's laughing at them, but they're going to be elected and have been elected. They have been elected. And there's this wonderful story which I find so interesting recently about how people who run for office make these stupid, stupid mistakes, which I do not understand why people do this or whatever they do. But let me see if I can give you this one. This is the best story. Mamdani and the bench press. Did you see this? Did you see this story? Did you see this, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see this? Did you see this one, ladies and germs? Mayor Eric Adams' own campaign got his age wrong by 3 years in an X post aimed at dunking on radical election foe Zoran Mamdani for failing, ladies and gentlemen, for failing to bench press alone even once at a public event. 67 versus 33. A lifetime of hard work versus a silver spoon. The results speak for themselves. This is from Adams' site. Eric Adams for NYC quipped after the humiliating Mamdani fail while posting a video of the mayor cranking out reps on the same bench press during the Man's event in Brooklyn. And they show him doing it. 67 versus 33. Ma'am scrawny. The weight of the job. Well, Adams is 64, wrote Katie Honan, a reporter for The City, who noticed the goof and posted it later Saturday. Adams' team later corrected his age, but not before screen grabs were made of the mistake. Adams' campaign spokesman Todd Shapiro said it was just a mistake and that the mayor would never lie about his age. Normally people would lie, I think, to be younger versus 67, which is my age tomorrow, where President Trump has ordered lights to be turned on of all cars after 9 p.m. Meanwhile, Governor David Paterson, who endorsed Adams last week, said Sunday that the mayor is getting nicked to death by corruption scandals surrounding his aides. And Adams, of course, his former longtime right-hand woman Ingrid Lewis Martin, ladies and gentlemen, ran a corruption scheme with tentacles reaching across the city, including political favors for $75,000 in bribes. This is including thousands of dollars in seafood and an acting role opposite Forrest Whitaker, prosecutors allege. Moreover, an Adams campaign volunteer and ex-aide Winnie Greco handed Honan a potato chip bag stuffed with $300 in cash at an event, a movie the reporter immediately rejected, and which sparked another scandal. I have tremendous respect for the mayor, Patterson said. I have backed him up many times. I have even let it go when things happen. But when it happens in campaigns is you get nicked to death. And that's what's happening to Adams. Every time it appears that he's gaining some momentum, and none of his fans was his fault, somebody affiliated with him, something happens. His poll numbers aren't that great now. I was going to endorse him because he's the type of friend you endorse him no matter what the polls say. But the potato chip scandal didn't help the situation at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what anybody, and I am speaking not not as an just as a citizen of New York, but how anybody cannot look at Curtis Lewa is beyond me. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Thank you, Dr. NX, whatever you are. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something which is just incredible. By the way, you know whose birthday it is today? Regis Philbin. Regis and I used to always meet prior to our birthdays. What a good guy he was. In any event, my friends, in any event, here we are. So this is our story. This is where we are. And I find this to be fascinating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why would anybody, does it matter about bench pressing? Does it? Does it matter? Does a bench press matter? No. No. Why did he do that? John Kennedy never wore a hat. They asked him one time to wear a hat. He won't wear a hat. He wore a hat like one time and he goes, that's it. That's it. Then when he was in Texas, they gave him a cowboy hat. And he said, I'm not going to wear the cowboy hat. You know, I'm wearing this coming to Washington and I'll show you that or whatever it was. He knew. Not going to get me in a hat. Not going to get me in a hat. What moron would let him do that? In this world where everybody's into, how much can you, where Hegseth and Bobby Kennedy, all they want to do is pull-ups. This matters. Pull-ups. They want to do pull-ups. Well, say no more. Pull-ups. We live in this world now of keto and this and testosterone, crazy men who measure their worth based upon how much they can deadlift. I need your likes, by the way, my friends. I need your likes. I need 5,000 likes. I know. How do you do that with 140 people watching? I have no idea. Just make it happen, okay? Think Winnie Greco. What would Winnie Greco do? What would Winnie Greco do? Now, you might consider this to be rather the whole notion of bench pressing supererogatory. You might think, is this in any way indicative of a salubrious candidate to the point that this would make them more? I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, do you know those instances in real lifetime where people have made the biggest mistakes ever, where they have decided, ladies and germs, decided to do something and they have a wardrobe malfunction? Do you know anything like that? Do you? I think it's important to understand this. Do you think there's anything, my friend? Do you think there's anything at all that makes people understand this? What was one of the biggest wardrobe or event malfunctions ever? What do you think? What have they been? What were some of the most stupid ones? Ladies and gentlemen, please get me. Well, Janet Jackson, that is true. That's very good. That is a wardrobe malfunction, which, yes, I'm thinking more political, but you are correct. I guess that was a wardrobe malfunction. I remember watching that and thinking that you had to have the visual acuity of a fighter pilot to see it was a nipple ring or nipple guard. I didn't even know what the hell a nipple guard was, but I watched it, and I still do not understand what the big deal was. I have no idea why it mattered at all. But I'm talking about political. What's the worst political? Weird hat, stunt, movement. I remember Gary Bauer one time. Was it Gary Bauer? He was flipping I think it was Bob Dole fell off something. Imagine being unrecognizable after practicing a fitness regime. I don't know what that means. Johnny, I don't know what that means. Imagine being unrecognizable. Huh. Tomorrow is the hatch day, one arc. Tomorrow, my friend. Okay? Dukakis in the tank. Yes! 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 Probably the worst ever. Probably one of the worst. The guy with the tank. Thank you, Scott Belanger. The guy with the tank. Didn't even know his name. Didn't even know Michael Dukakis. Doesn't matter. Curtis says Cuomo wears a nipple ring. We saw this one time. You could see it through the various whatever it was. Okay, all right. He's doing that thing where he's bringing his daughters out again, and they're talking about music. Michael Dukakis, 1988. As a Democratic nominee, Dukakis wanted to project toughness on defense against Bush. His campaign staged a photo op with him riding in an M1 Abrams tank. The oversized helmet, the awkward grin, and the contrast with his policy, this wonkish persona, made him laughable. Bush's team used the footage and ads to paint Dukakis as weak and ridiculous on national security. That, of course, compared to our friend Mr. Bush, President Bush, war hero and the like. 2007, Barack Obama on a bicycle with a helmet. And the word is seven. During his first campaign, Obama was photographed casually biking around Martha's Vineyard with a helmet and tucked-in polo shirt. To average people, it was harmless and safe, but to image-obsessed pundits, the visual screamed professor rather than commander-in-chief. Critics compared it unfavorably to macho imagery of leaders like Putin riding shirtless on a horseback. The picture fed the narrative that Obama was more academic than strong. Don't forget his other, when he was bowling and, his pitching. John Kerry windsurfing in a wetsuit. 2004. He thought he was showcasing athleticism and energy. Instead, the footage showed him zigzagging on the water, was turned into a devastating Bush campaign ad. John Kerry, whichever way the wind blows, an elitist flip-flopper. Gerald Ford slipping down Air Force One, 1975. Thank you, CA. See this? 2005. Yep. 1975, rather. Ford already had a reputation for being clumsy, though he might have been one of the most athletic presidents, maybe of all time. Whizzer White wasn't a president. He was a Supreme Court justice, but again, professional. Jack Kemp, later on, paid for the Buffalo Bills. But Gerald Ford was one of the most very, very athletic. Skier, the whole bit. He already had a reputation for being clumsy. Remember when Bush threw up on a bunch of Japanese folks? Remember that one? Howard Dean screamed, yeah! 2004, yeah! After a disappointing third place, there we are. Happy birthday, Uncle Lenny. Thank you, Lori Cuck, rather, excuse me. Thank you, dear heart. His voice cracked in this bizarre, yeah! After a disappointing third place finish in Iowa, he tried to rally supporters by energetically. He was afraid that people couldn't hear him, and the networks replayed the clip endlessly, out of context, making him look unsound, unhinged. Nixon sweating in the debate in 1960. Ed Miliband eating a bacon sandwich in 2014. This was very scary, apparently. I did not see this, but they say it was serious. Theresa May's Wheatfield confession and dancing. Theresa May, she was what? She was a prime minister for like an hour. May once admitted that the naughtiest thing she ever done was running through a wheat field as a child. The confession was mocked as comically dull. Later, she walked into the Conservative Party conference stage, dancing stiffly to ABBA's Dancing Queen. Romney's 47% video. At a closed-door fundraiser, Romney was secretly recorded saying that 47% of Americans would never take responsibility. Al Gore's makeup, remember his They over-prepped him, applying heavy makeup that made him look unnatural. During the debates with George Bush, he frequently sighed audibly, rolled his eyes. Remember when George Bush was looking at his watch? He looked at his watch because he didn't know what time it was. He wanted to see how much time he had left. He wasn't bored or whatever. So these go to show you, this is where we are today, my friends. Nobody expects you to know image and nobody. By the way, I'm looking up. Anybody give a shit about John Bolton getting a search warrant? No. Nobody cares. Zero. Johnny says, you could do Tai Chi in less than a month. No one will be able to recognize you. I saw it in an internet ad. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny, by the way. Johnny Jolane, ladies and germs. Thank you for that. Johnny has a very interesting take on everything right now. Johnny has a great take on this. So anyway, so this goes to show you this whole thing. Scott Belanger. Imagine if Ross Perot would have won. Yes. Did Obama ever eat a bacon sandwich? No. Other people said, somebody one time, who was it, was eating like a corn dog. Stay away from long sausages and wursts and that sort of thing. Don't do that. You understand that? Because you understand this. This was the problem. This was the problem. Remember, Americans don't know anything about issues. They know things that can become a meme. They don't know anything about anything that is of any significance. None. So this crazy thing with the, believe it or not, the bench press thing may make more sense than the basically Marxist nonsense that he's been talking about. You think I'm kidding? Visuals matter. That's right, Toxic Dust. Visuals matter. Because Americans are stupid. And the voting public is stupid. And Democrats are real stupid. I mean, real stupid. They're into a world that I don't understand what the hell they're talking about. And I don't understand what they're even remotely concerned with. But I got to tell you something. It's a fascinating world that we live in, my friend. And this may have actually done more than anything you can imagine. How about those Menendez brothers? Anybody care about that? No, of course not. You don't care about that. Right? Am I right? You don't care about the Menendez brothers. Come on. Trump burger inventor becomes second MAGA-loving restaurateur detained by ICE as his dark past emerges. Did you see this one? That's fascinating. Glamorous lawyer, 22, dies after getting an allergic reaction during a routine medical procedure. She's a lawyer at 22? That's pretty damn good. She must have got out real early. Let me see. I saw something about Sting here, which is interesting. There's a lot of, I Dream of Jeannie. What the hell's her name? She turns 94. Did you see this one? Sting sued for millions and lost. And millions of pounds in lost royalties by former bandmates and the police. Sting's former police bandmates are suing the frontman for millions of pounds in missing royalties. The singer was handed a high court writ by the group's guitarists Andy Summers and Stuart Copeland. The substantial damages claim comes after many years of bitter legal disputes. Well, there you know, my friends. There you have it. Fascinating, is it not? His name is Gordon Matthew Sumner, and they're suing, and that's great, and that's terrific. But I want to see our friend, the woman who is, what is her name? Quick, the woman who was, God damn it. I Dream of Jeannie. What's I Dream of Jeannie? What's her name? Hang on a second. Just a minute. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. What's her name? Come on, somebody tell me. Let me go back and check. My head's a little shingad. Sometimes I'm... Barbara Eden! Barbara Eden! Barbara Eden. 94. Can you believe that? Isn't that something? Remember when she couldn't show her belly button? I think she was pregnant at one particular time. This was in the time where we had this thing called class, when we were worried about exposing ourselves, about being gross or being whatever it was. I find that absolutely incredible. Did you know that? Of course you knew that. Of course you knew that. Of course you did. Nothing really grabs me. Any of the big stories you think I should be talking about? Anybody? Anybody? Anything you see? You know this Blake Lively thing? I don't know the first thing about it. I'm glad to see Kate, Princess Kate's doing well. She had me scared for a while. I kind of liked her in a way. I kind of liked her. The other stories are interesting. I'm looking. It's kind of slow today, my friends. It's kind of slow. Well, it's not slow for what's going on in the world, but slow for purposes of what we want to talk about. Because you know and I know we don't want to talk about this stuff that's really important. I know. I understand. Let's see what if you were my producer today, the one who theoretically, ideally, the one who theoretically comes up with various topics, somebody who reads, what's going on in the world. Cracker Barrel. Menendez, what do you think about no parole? I'm not surprised, but I would give them the parole. I really would. After a while, maybe they did some bad stuff. I think they were abused. And while I don't think the father had it coming, he kind of had it coming. But they handled it just poorly. I think the Cracker Barrel is absolutely still a big deal. Why? Simple to understand, low-hanging fruit, absolutely baseless, simple, not a lot to it, nothing at all to it. It's just very simple. Cracker Barrel, they changed it, DEI, it's actually ESG. And you got this woman who's making these, who's also kind of animated, and it's whatever. And people are just going crazy. The demoralization of America, Gorp says. Yeah, they just murdered their parents. They murdered their parents. The mother, I'm not so sure. I don't think she was involved. But the father abused them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. Baby Emmanuel. Wow. Look at that one. First time anyone has ever talked about Cracker Barrel. Thank you, Luke. You can't spell Cracker Barrel without cracker. Ladies and gentlemen, you are correct. God, you're so smart. You have a real sense for what's going on. So anyway, my friends, it's Monday. We are back. We are back. Ready to go. Ready for Freddy. I'm here on this beauteous New York. Today it's 12:33. I wanted to make sure you go to 77 WABC. Just go online. And I appreciate that. And also for your love and affection, keeping me straight, moving in the right direction, living just enough for the city. I got 193. Well, that's good. I got more people watching, which is very good. I thank you for that. Let me see. Great. Anyway, so that's it. I hope everybody had a great day today. I got to look. I think the story I'm going to stick with here is our friend Mr. Mamdani. Why the low-hanging fruit is just. And also, by the way, today's topic is going to be people who demoralize country music who don't know what the hell they're talking about, which is later on a big topic for my suggestion. That's an inside joke, my friends. In any event, thank you so much for watching. Have a great and glorious day. Love you to death, my friends. Love you to death. Thank you. You are absolutely... My man, happy birthday if I don't get to say it tomorrow. Well, thank you so much. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. We will be back in and out of here. I'm going to be ready to go do my show at 1 o'clock. Please tune in, stay tuned with us. And until then, my friends, remember, as we always say, by the way, follow Mrs. L, Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget to follow the legal channel, Lionel Legal, and also more Lionel Nation. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. And until then, my friends, remember these words, these particular words: the monkey's dead, the show's over, sue you, there we go.